Hello students, welcome to chemistry online classes. From today we are going to start second PUC syllabus. Chemistry syllabus will start with physical chemistry. As you know, first 5 lessons comes under physical chemistry. Out of that we are going to start with 5th lesson, surface chemistry. Surface chemistry lesson has a good weightage of 6 marks in annual exam. One question of 1 mark will be asked and one question of 5 marks will be asked from this unit. Okay. So let us start with surface chemistry. What is surface chemistry? Surface chemistry is a branch of chemistry that deals with study of chemical reactions or the phenomenons that occurs at the surface. Okay. So surface chemistry definition will write. It is a branch of chemistry that deals with the study of phenomenon that occur at surface. Phenomenon, chemical reactions taking place at the surface will be covered under surface chemistry. Now surface means how much surface we should consider for surface chemistry. If a solid is there, then its topmost layer you should consider. So surface here means topmost layer of 100 nanometer. Okay. Reactions taking place in topmost layer around 100 nanometer topmost layer, that comes under surface chemistry. Now to take that chemical reactions or to occur that phenomenon at the surface, the condition is surface should be very clean. Okay. And very clean surface, that is ultra clean surfaces we can get by applying vacuum. Okay. High vacuum is applied. Okay. By applying vacuum, whatever dust or unwanted things are there on the surface are removed and the surface is made very clean, and such ultra clean surface is used for surface chemistry, phenomenons which takes place in surface chemistry. Okay. Now these ultra clean surface substances should be kept again in vacuum only. Why? Because see students, imagine that vacuum is applied, we have made the surface very clean, but afterwards when that surface will get exposed to air, we know that air contains so many gases. So major components are 78% nitrogen, 20% oxygen. They may again get adsorbed because adsorption is a spontaneous process. Okay. So they may get adsorbed again on that surface. So cleaned surface is again kept in vacuum. Okay. So let us move towards few terms which are generally used in surface chemistry. First term we will see what is adsorption. What is adsorption? Okay. The process of accumulation of molecular species or a substance on the surface. This process is called as adsorption. See students, here spelling is AD, adsorption. Okay, the process that takes place at the surface, that is called as adsorption. Okay. Now generally we know two, absorption, adsorption. Absorption, B, is very familiar to you. Adsorption is new, that is related to surface chemistry. Okay. Now what is difference between absorption and adsorption? See, already you know absorption. Absorption means that particular substance will go in the complete substance. Okay. For example, I will take a very familiar example. If you are dipping bread in milk, okay, milk will get absorbed in the bread. Is it? Milk goes throughout the bread. That is called as absorption. And if you are applying jam or butter on the bread, then that jam or butter will remain only on the surface of the bread. That is called as adsorption. Better you got the difference. Throughout if it is going, then it is called absorption. If that substance remains only at the surface, then it is called as adsorption. Okay. So how to define term adsorption? It is accumulation, or you can say concentration, of molecular species or substance on the surface rather than in the bulk. Of a solid or liquid. Okay, so how can we define adsorption? Adsorption is accumulation of molecular species, accumulation of a substance on the surface rather than in the bulk. In the bulk means what? Inside. That substance, that molecular species will not go inside. It will remain only on the surface. It remain accumulated at the surface. Then that process is called as adsorption. Okay. So I hope you understood definition. Let us move towards next term. The term is adsorbate. What is adsorbate? The molecular species which accumulates on the surface are called as adsorbate. Whatever is getting accumulated on the surface, that is called as adsorbate. Now student, adsorbate can be solid, liquid or gas. Okay. In adsorption we have seen that molecular species remain at the surface. Now see, imagine we are applying jam on the bread. That jam accumulates only on the surface, that is called as adsorbate. Okay. Don't take this example, chemical examples we will discuss soon. Next thing is, next term we will use is adsorbent. What is adsorbent? You can see the material or substance on the surface of which adsorption occurs is called as adsorbent. Okay, so you understood all three terms: what is adsorption, what is adsorbate, what is adsorbent. Okay, let us discuss few examples to get this point. Okay, imagine students, we are having a closed vessel. Okay, take some, imagine closed vessel. In this closed vessel one gas is there. It is a closed vessel filled with a gas. Imagine that here barometer something is attached to measure the pressure. All you know that gases are continuously randomly moving. While moving they will collide on the walls of the container and they will exert pressure. Now gases are moving and they are exerting pressure. That pressure is measured using this barometer. Okay. Now in this closed vessel, if you will put some charcoal, then what will happen? Once that charcoal will be placed in this closed vessel, some of the gases will get adsorbed on the surface of charcoal. So number of gas will reduce, and that's why the pressure exerted by the gas molecules will also decrease, and that decrease you can see in this barometer reading. Like this you can think of adsorption process, how adsorption takes place, how gas gets adsorbed on the surface of adsorbent. Here I have taken example of charcoal as adsorbent. Now see, here I told that process is called as adsorption. Whatever substances or molecular species that remain on the surface that are called as adsorbate. The material on the surface of which adsorption takes place, that is called as adsorbent. So downside is adsorbent, upside molecular species that are called as adsorbate. Now student, you tell me here, in this example, who is adsorbate and who is adsorbent? Of course, whatever charcoal is placed, that is adsorbent, because gases are getting adsorbed on the surface of charcoal and the gases are adsorbate. Understood? Let us take one more example. In our sugar industries, raw sugar aqueous solution will be there. Student, that aqueous solution of raw sugar will be little yellowish in color. Okay, and that aqueous solution is passed to our animal charcoal. After passing through animal charcoal, that yellow color gets adsorbed on the surface of animal charcoal and very clear aqueous solution is left, and that's why sugar crystals will be white in color rather than yellowish. Okay, so like this various applications of adsorption we can see in industries. Okay, one more example you can see is whenever we will purchase any pharmaceutical materials. For example, if tablets or some pharmaceutical things we have purchased, along with that, in that box you can see sometimes silica gel pouch will be there. That silica gel does what? If water enters or water vapors will be there, that water will be absorbed by silica gel, and that's why air in that box remains dry. Okay, so silica gel here acting as adsorbent. If water will enter in that box, that will get adsorbed on the surface of silica gel. Here water acts as adsorbate. Okay. Otherwise, take one more example of basic dye, methylene blue. If methylene blue is taken in a beaker. Methylene blue is taken in a beaker. Imagine blue color solution you can see. In that add some animal charcoal. Whenever animal charcoal is added, all that blue color dye will get adsorbed on the surface of animal charcoal. Okay, and filtrate will become finally colorless, because whatever color was there, that got adsorbed, that dye got adsorbed on the surface of charcoal. Okay, like this various examples you can think of. So students, these are few terms which are frequently used in surface chemistry. This was all about introduction of surface chemistry. Onwards we will use the terms adsorption, adsorbate, adsorbent. Okay. Now students, along with this, let us see what is exact distinction between absorption and adsorption. Okay. Yes. What happens in absorption? Molecules penetrate uniformly throughout the substance. Means it remain on the surface also, it penetrate inside the adsorbent also, and that distribution is uniform everywhere. That is called as absorption. What is absorption? The process in which molecular species or molecules will penetrate uniformly throughout the substance. Okay, uniformly penetrate, distribute, that is called as absorption. Okay, so it is in bulk phenomenon. In bulk phenomenon. In bulk means it takes place, in bulk means inside also, not only on the surface, inside also, that is called as in bulk phenomenon. What is adsorption? Molecules or molecular species, you can say, will accumulate only on the surface and do not penetrate in the bulk. Okay, and do not penetrate in the bulk. This is called as surface phenomenon. Okay. Students, for understanding absorption, you can even think of example of a sponge. Sponge, whenever you are dipping in water, that sponge will absorb water. I am using this term, absorption. Sponge absorbs water because water goes everywhere in the sponge. Okay, that is absorption. And adsorption means, just now we have discussed, which remain only on the, restricted to the surface. Okay. So after these two terms, let us see few more terms like we will see what is desorption. and we'll see what is option. Okay. D itself tells you that remove. So removal of molecular species, whatever has accumulated on the surface from the surface, is called as desorption. What is desorption? Removal of molecular species from the surface where they are adsorbed removal of molecular species from the surface from where they are adsorbed is called as desorption. D means removal. Now next term is sorption. When absorption and adsorption both processes are taking place, both processes occur or taking place simultaneously. Then it is called as sorption. Sorption means absorption is also taking place, adsorption is also taking place. I hope students you understood desorption, sorption, both taking place. Let us take an example to understand sorption. How absorption, adsorption both takes place at a time. Take an example, chalk piece dipped in ink. Now students, you might have done this many times. See now, chalk piece dipped in ink. What happens? Afterwards when we will remove chalk piece, then we will see that it has become colored. Okay, whatever dye is present in the ink all gets adsorbed. Yes, all the dye gets adsorbed on the surface of the chalk. Adsorption takes place. Who got adsorbed? Ink dye got adsorbed on the surface of the chalk piece, but the liquid or the solvent of the ink that gets absorbed in the chalk. Whenever you will break that chalk, you can see that chalk is wet inside, but it is white inside. Means dye has not entered inside, but it has become wet. So that solvent got absorbed in the chalk piece, but that dye remain only on the surface, that is adsorbed. Okay. So when absorption and adsorption both are taking place simultaneously, then it is called as sorption. So students, let us move towards mechanism of adsorption. Yes students, so we will see now mechanism of adsorption. Students, just now we have seen adsorbate and adsorbent. I told you that adsorbate can be solid, liquid or gas. Adsorbent can be solid or liquid. Adsorbent, the substance on the surface of which adsorption takes place, that can never be gas. That one thing remember. Adsorbent can be solid, liquid, but never a gas. Adsorbate can be solid, liquid or even a gas. Let us start with mechanism of adsorption. Why adsorption takes place? Why molecular species or why a substance get adsorbed on the surface or it retains on the surface? What is the reason for that? That we will see in mechanism of adsorption. Okay. So now see a student, imagine that this is one of the adsorbent. Okay. Then a particle, if it is present inside the adsorbent, a particle present inside the adsorbent is surrounded by particles from all sides. Okay, the particle which is present inside is surrounded by some atoms from all sides. All its sides atoms will be present, and that's why forces, for example, this force will get balanced by that. Okay, forces will get mutually balanced. Okay, forces get mutually balanced. Where forces get mutually balanced? If the particle is present inside or it is present in the bulk. But if a particle is present at the surface, what happens is, students, if a particle is present at the surface, it is not surrounded by atoms or molecules from all sides. You can see that atoms are present here, but no atoms are present up. Okay, so you can see that forces are unbalanced. Forces are unbalanced at the surface, and these unbalanced forces are responsible for attracting and retaining molecular species on the surface. These unbalanced forces will attract, they will retain the molecules on the surface. Okay, so things are clear. Why adsorption takes place only on the surface? Because of unbalanced forces. Why forces are unbalanced? Because the particles which are present on the surface are not surrounded by atoms or molecules from all sides. That's why forces remain unbalanced there. Okay, unlike particles which are present inside. Now, see, the forces are unbalanced, and that's why the particles which are present at the surface require more energy. Students, you know already that when balanced forces will be there, when stability will be there, that time energy requirement will be less. But when unbalanced forces, instability is there, that time energy requirement will be more. So it is very clear, due to unbalanced forces on the surface, surface energy of molecules present at the surface will be more. Okay, what I am telling here, see here. Surface energy of the molecules present on the surface is more. Okay, now when adsorption takes place, that time what happens? Some substance get adsorbed on the surface. So some atoms will come on the surface, that atoms will balance these unbalanced forces, and that's why surface energy of molecules will decrease. Initially surface energy was more. After adsorption, due to the molecules present on the surface, these forces will become balanced and surface energy will be less. Extra amount of energy, whatever is present in the molecules, will be given out in the form of heat, and that is exothermic process. Whenever heat is given out, that is called as exothermic process, and that's why, students, adsorption is a exothermic phenomenon. Okay, so I will write here mechanism of adsorption. Under mechanism of adsorption, what is reason of adsorption we have seen. What is reason? As the forces on the surface of the adsorbent are unbalanced, unbalanced forces attract and retain the molecules on the surface, and that's why adsorption takes place only on the surface. Reason you can write down. Why adsorption takes place only on the surface? Reason is forces at the surface are unbalanced. Okay. Therefore, particles at the surface have more surface energy. See students, due to unbalanced forces, particles are having more surface energy. After adsorption, what happens? After adsorption, forces start balancing, because one layer will come on the surface and that atoms will balance these forces. Forces start balancing, therefore surface energy decreases. How forces will become balanced? Surface energy decreases. Initially they were having more surface energy. Now after adsorption, surface energy is less. That extra amount of energy will be given out. Or released in the form of heat. It is released in the form of heat. Therefore, adsorption is a exothermic reaction or exothermic phenomenon. Therefore, I will write delta H for adsorption is always, yes students, it is always negative. Okay, things are clear. So delta H, enthalpy change for adsorption. There are two types of adsorption: physical adsorption, chemical adsorption, whichever type. Delta H for adsorption is always negative because heat is given out, okay, when adsorption takes place. Now student, delta H is negative. What about delta S? Negative. Delta S. What is delta S? Change in entropy. Everybody, first PUC we have seen delta S means S2 minus S1. S means what? Entropy. Entropy means what? Measure of disorderness, measure of randomness is called as entropy. What happens to entropy after adsorption? Can you guess students? Let us imagine adsorbent is there. On the surface of this adsorbent, gas molecules are there that are getting adsorbed. Okay, you have to tell me what is happening to entropy, that is randomness, disorderness. I hope you remember, entropy always goes on increasing from solid to liquid to gas as disorderness, randomness increases. Entropy always decreases reverse order, from gas to liquid, liquid to solid. Entropy goes on decreasing as disorderness decreases. Now adsorbent is there, on the surface gas is getting adsorbed. What is happening? Initially before adsorption, gas molecules are having free movement, but now after adsorption, gas molecules are getting adsorbed, their free movement is restricted. Free movement, disorderness has decreased because of adsorption. So what has happened? Entropy has decreased. Initially free movement was there, disorderness was there, entropy was more. After adsorption, it becomes less because free movement gets restricted. So I can say that, see here, S2 becomes less, initially it was more. So we can surely say that delta S for adsorption is also always negative. So students, two things are very clear. For adsorption, delta H is negative, delta S is negative. What are conditions for adsorption? Okay. Now these two terms are present in which expression? I hope you remember first PUC syllabus. In that we have seen Gibbs energy, that is also called as Gibbs free energy. In the expression of Gibbs free energy, we have seen delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay. This I have written according to thermodynamics concept. Okay. Now delta G, adsorption is a spontaneous process, takes place on its own. For spontaneous process, delta G is always negative. Okay. Now students, first condition for adsorption I told, delta H negative. Second condition we have seen, delta S is negative for adsorption. Now what is third condition? Let us see here. Adsorption is a spontaneous process. For spontaneous, delta G should be negative. Now students, see to the equation properly. We want this term delta G should be negative. When this term will come negative, let us see. How is delta H? Delta H is of course negative. Okay, let us move now. Delta S is negative. Agree? Delta S negative. Delta S multiplied by temperature will also be negative. Is it? Delta S negative. Delta S multiplied by temperature becomes more negative, bigger negative number. But before that minus sign is there. So minus T delta S is always positive. Students, agree with this? Negative, bigger negative number by after multiplying with T, then before negative number one negative sign is there. So this complete term becomes positive. Okay. Now this is positive term, delta H is negative. We want delta G answer negative. Why we want delta G negative? Because spontaneous process, delta G will be always negative. When it will happen? When your answer of delta G will be negative. For that sake, this is negative plus, okay, positive number is there. Delta G is equal to delta H is negative, and one big positive term is there, minus T delta S, this term is positive. So to get answer negative, delta H should have higher negative value than this positive value. Agree? So third condition is delta H should have higher negative value than minus T delta S positive value. Okay, so it is third condition. I hope you understood the conditions very well. So for adsorption, delta H negative, delta S negative, delta G negative, all terms should be negative. Many times question will be asked, what are the conditions? All three, delta H, delta S, delta G, all should be negative. Then what is, how should be delta H and T delta S values understood? Delta H value should be high negative value, because as compared to minus T delta S, which is a positive value. Okay. If this is there, then adsorption takes place on its own spontaneously. Okay. Now students, as adsorption proceeds, now see, during adsorption what I have told you, during adsorption delta H is negative, high negative value is there, higher negative value. As adsorption proceeds, this delta H values becomes less and less negative. As adsorption proceeds, delta H becomes less and less negative. Finally, it becomes equal to this positive value. Both values become equal, but delta H is negative and this term is positive. Then what will happen? See here, as adsorption proceeds, I told you that delta H value becomes less and less negative. Finally, it will become equal to T delta S positive value. When it happens, one is negative, one is positive, equal quantity, then delta G will be 0, and that is where equilibrium is attained. Okay, so equilibrium attains when? So last point we will see. At equilibrium, fourth point, at equilibrium, all we know that delta G is equal to 0. Delta H negative value becomes equal to minus T delta S positive value. Both will become equal and delta G will become equal to 0. So what is condition at equilibrium? I hope you understood. So this was introductory part of surface chemistry. Surface chemistry is of two types, physical and chemical. Not surface chemistry, adsorption. Two types of adsorptions are there, that we will see in detail in next class. Okay. Till that, write notes, read NCERT textbook, and repeatedly see the video, get the things clear to you. Thank you.